Bipolar Rollers, welcome back. I have a little confession to make. My last video was just dripping with bitterness from having an unfaithful partner, so I decided to privatize it and get back to the basics, which is about you guys, not about my disappointments. How do you define a bipolar roller? I've done a video about this before, but I want to really cover some stuff because I think we need a reminder. The whole basis of the bipolar rollers is to try to make the illness a superpower, basically. I think that we're fairly intuitive, when we're not letting our minds run away without us. We're pretty good at picking up little social cues and that sort of thing that other people might miss. So in that sense, we're fairly intuitive. And Armenia gives us a lot of enthusiasm, although a little scattered, and a lot of energy, a lot of get up and go, and can make us a lot of fun, flirty, charming. So again, you can just try to tweak it to minimize some of the harmful parts of it, the stuff that's out of control, and if you can tweak it right, those things don't seem so bad. You just gotta do it in moderation. A bipolar roller refuses to be someone with bipolar. You have bipolar, but some people embody bipolar. And I go back and forth every now and then. It seems like some days I am bipolar. But the idea of a roller, obviously, is you don't use it as a scapegoat. It's not an excuse to be inappropriate. It's not an excuse to act out. It's understandable, but the minute we start making allowances for things based on some of our weaknesses, and we stop trying to make them into strengths, we give into it. We become it. It becomes our scapegoat. And I've done lots of videos on that. Scapegoating is horseshit. You're really just hitting the pause button on getting any real productive mental health work done. So don't do the scapegoating. Just recognize where you fell short and make the necessary changes so that it doesn't happen again. A bipolar roller makes sure that they have a good support network, some quality people that they can lean on when they know that they feel like they're spiraling, or people you can count on, will always be honest with you about what's going on so that you feel safe in your surroundings, and what's going on with you so that you know how you are perceived from the outside world. Now, clearly because of bipolar, we sometimes falter in the judgment category, and I wouldn't be the first bipolar person to have misjudged somebody's integrity or worth, in regards to providing a safe environment or keeping, just keeping you in the headspace of constant daily improvement, not criticism or judgment, that sort of thing. It's important to pick the people you surround yourself with wisely. And a bipolar person does that. A bipolar roller makes sure that happens. Some people with bipolar barely give it a second thought. But it's even more important when you have a mental health issue. Look at it as a short person having access to their taller friends, because otherwise they got to carry a step ladder everywhere they go. Sometimes you just need a helping hand from someone who's got a better grasp on whatever the task is, if you're having issues with it because of certain limitations. So I know that a lot of you guys fall into all of these categories, but I know that a lot of people would like to be more rollerish and less bipolarish, myself included. I just went through a period where I didn't feel very valuable or worthy. I questioned my sanity. My gut was ringing off the hook, but I was ignoring it and red flags and being, but it was coming out in the way I was behaving, in the way I was feeling. You can't suppress something natural like that and not have it affect you. For me, it made me just more upset, like angry, disappointed. I was just, sometimes I couldn't put my finger on it. Most of the time I could, but there's just a certain feeling that you have, or like a mood that takes over when you feel like, am I going crazy, or are things not quite right? So a bipolar roller learns to trust his gut as well. That's everybody should really trust their gut more. It's important. But I think even when we're having our symptoms act up, we get little flags here and there. Call them gut instinct, call them whatever you will, but something's telling you, hey, you're a little off today, or something's a little off today. It's important to, look in and see, is it me or is it my environment? Is everything okay and I'm just, going through a little bipolar paranoia, or is something just off kilter and you've been so busy you've missed it, Yeah, it's constant work. It's important though. And let's be realistic here. We can't do it all the time. We just can't. But the idea is to have it in your head that you will try to at least do it all the time. Because even if you fall short, which you will, there'll be weeks or days, maybe even a month, where you just really slacken on your mental health assessment and treatment. Well, that stuff wreaks havoc in your life, because not only are you kind of not catching what you're contributing to the environment, but you're missing stuff that's going on, that you would catch if you weren't distracted. We have to work twice as hard at just fitting in and coexisting with people who don't have these same, kinks in our system. The way we interact, the way we behave, the way we think. We have to keep a careful, observant eye on what's going on, because things will run away off on you if you don't, and you know that. If you guys have any other suggestions on what you think a bipolar roller is to you, I would love to hear it. I do like to include it in my description for whoever has the best, summary of what a bipolar roller is. But basically, I want to boil it down to, it's just never giving up. This condition is so confusing and so challenging. And if you haven't given up, whether you've done all these things or not, but if you haven't given up, you're still a bipolar roller to me. You got to make this work, and you got to do what you can. Just try day by day to be a better person than you were yesterday. And make sure you get a good support network, because we need to be told when things are getting a little out of control. And it has to be someone whose word you can trust. All right, that's it for me today, guys. Happy whatever day it is where you are, and bipolar rollers represent.